I might not be able to pronounce Fred's last name, but that doesn't mean he's wrong. Everyone's got a breaking point, even the world's mightiest. Our favourite superheroes put up with a lot of crap, but there's only so much a man can take before he snaps. How many dead girlfriends, reset timelines, and riddle trophies can a man take before he just loses it? Let's see what happens when good men go bad.
You got one part of that wrong. This is not meth.
In the first universe we're looking at, the amazing Spider-Man is pushed over the edge after a brutal hunt by Kraven the Hunter's clan kills several of his friends. With Madam Web, no big loss. Matty Franklin, no big loss. And his cool clone brother Kane, murdered by the Kravenoffs in a sick ritual to resurrect Sergei himself. Peter avenges them in a rather unfriendly neighbourhood way. Oh, and just to warn you, one of Kraven's sons is a giant lion. There's a giant lion man in this story. Oh geez, we're jumping right into it here, aren't we? Pissed off Petey's already done the deed. Dude, is that Mysterio back there? My man. The surviving spider people flee the scene as Kraven's family try to avenge their patriarch, but Spider-Man makes them all his bitches with ease. As the saying goes, when Spidey stops joking, you'd better start running. See, Electro gets it, twisted by the Kraven clan's kills. Spidey shows no mercy. And after making a bigger mess of Kraven's wife and kids than Joe Crusader did to these books, we next find Peter at Mary Jane's apartment, somewhere he can feel safe after all the dark stuff he's lived through recently. He tells Mary Jane this is it. He can't be Spider-Man anymore, he just can't. And that is apparently what all women want to hear, because she jumps right into bed with him. The spectre of Spider-Man has been MJ's excuse to avoid Peter ever since One More Day, even though she was proud of him for it years before, but don't get me started on that. Like some disgusting Snow White parody, all the animals the Kravens let loose on the city hang out to watch them bang. Meanwhile, on the raft, the high-security supervillain prison, Electro turns himself into Luke Cage out of fear for the unrestrained Spider-Man. Why are they so ashamed of Max's mask? It's fun and cool. This scar is cringy. The next morning, Mary Jane is fuming to find out Peter didn't abandon Spidey to be with her. He did it to escape responsibility. You can tell this isn't 616 because Peter actually stands up for himself. He tells her he killed Kraven to save lives. Who reported the story anyway? Did Luke Cage go to the press after Electro's explanation? Was it Mysterio? I'm gonna blame Chameleon. That snaky son of a bitch. Peter can't convince MJ, but he concedes that she's right about one thing. He is responsible. And he's gonna own it. He's Peter Parker. No more. Oh yeah, wild animals are still stampeding across New York. Where the hell are the heroes? Daredevil I think was in San Francisco at the time. But Luke Cage was just sitting there at his desk instead of helping. Holy crap dude, Spider-Man's just snapped a lion's neck. Maybe this book is actually awesome. Oh, never mind. Here's Madam Web. You know what, mate? Spider-Man murders one supervillain in self-defense, and his spider crew turn on him. Peter killed Kraven to save Anya Corazon and Julia Carpenter, and now they're conspiring to take him down and replace him with a woman. A very modern Marvel plan. Anya seems to be a true fan, as she refuses to stand against Spidey, terrified that if she replaces him, she'll end up just like him. So like Vulture in the Morbius movie, Julia goes off to recruit her own squad of spider slayers. Mary Jane hasn't given up on Peter yet, so again this is how you know this isn't 616. She tries to talk some sense into him and offers to help, if he'll accept it. Madame Marvel won't give us these two together, except in scenarios where it's destined to be ruined. What is their problem? In typical Parker fashion, he's late to his own intervention, but he's got a good excuse. He pays a visit to his old friend, Norman Osborn, and does what he promised to do all the way back on the cover of issue 122. Norman's corpse is hung from the ceiling and Peter is proud of the kill. He even rubs Harry's nose in it, have a bit of that. Spider-Man is a hero no longer, he's a predator, a hunter, and it's time he accepted that. Peter the Hunter seizes Kravenoff's house, family and wardrobe, and he's made trophies out of his enemies. He's sitting on a glider throne. Doc Ock's tentacles hold up that skull. He's probably made shoes out of Dr. Connors or something. Hair gel made of the Carnage symbiote. The new Madam Web confronts her ex-champion with a clan of her own. Jessica Drew, she's lame. McDonald Gargan's Venom, wasted potential. And Edward Brock himself, Anti-Venom. A rogue hero able to manipulate and cancel the radioactive powers. Oh, hang on, he's dead! You can just snap a symbiote's neck and be done with it. Sod off. No way. No way that kills Eddie. That's so lame. I thought Nightwing's death in Injustice was bad, but this is next level. While the hunters and the spiders all kill each other, poor little Anya is summoned to witness the blood and gore. Jesus, Madam Web, she's like 12. But seeing what happens when the universe doesn't have its key spider person, the new chosen champion knows what she must do. Her cool new costume goes up against Peter's stolen lion vest, but without the nipple lasers, Parker's got to resort to more old-fashioned methods. He's about to Kraven's last hunt Anya's brains all over the wall, until a cheeky thwip clogs the gun's barrel, blowing the weapon apart in a blinding flash. As Spider-Man's successor, Anya has the same opportunity Peter had against Kraven. Kill him now and spare further bloodshed. What will she do? Peter the Hunter dies that night, but Peter the Parker lives on, though now he's blind, and we all know a blind man with super senses could never be a superhero. The city has a new protector in the spectacular Spider-Girl, and even in a what if, Marvel refused to let Peter and MJ be together. The end. So the story that this is based on was Grim Hunt, which, to be fair, alongside its setup stories of The Gauntlet, were probably a highlight of the Brand New Day era, not that that's hard to achieve. Marvel once tried to claim that this was a similar future to the one Spidey visits in Amazing 500, but I didn't see a sniff of that sick Last Stand suit. A better story would have been showing Spider-Man hunting down all his bad guys, one by one, building up to killing Norman. Instead, he kills them all off-screen, and fights cringy second-string spiders. The next story we've got's got a similar premise of a hero that starts killing, but it actually shows the methodology of how you kill these larger-than-life villains. Strap in for the new 52, and get ready for the coolest alternate costume The Flash has ever had.
We tried to poison you. We tried to poison you because you're an insane, degenerate piece of filth, and you deserve to die.
Just look at that super suit. Now I know why they call him the Flash. The saga of the future Flash begins, unsurprisingly, in the future. 2 decades from now, and for years the Flash has been missing time. A screw-up in the Speed Force that gives him his super speed has been gently pushing Flash forwards in time again and again, stealing precious seconds in times of crisis. When the Flash turns up late, people get hurt, or worse, like Flash's friend Wally West, killed in a car crash Flash was too slow to stop. Lost time has ruined Barry's life, but he's got a plan to earn it all back. He's gonna break away from his grim present by running back in time, righting every wrong, saving every life, and stopping every villain. Time travel's caused this problem, so maybe it can solve it too. With imagery evoking the Terminator movie, future Flash finds himself 16 years from now at Central City Museum's charity gala. A party crashed, or should I say, shattered, by the Mirror Master. This dude kicks ass. He's my second favourite Flash villain. Double M uses his mysterious mirror realm to rob the wealthy guests blind by trapping them in a reflective dome of his own design. But the Master's powers might be the key to saving the day as well. as Future Flash forces the victims into the mirror world himself. Usually the Central City rogues and the Flash treat their battles as kinda like a game, but this Flash isn't playing. Mirror Master's gun controls the reflective portals, so if Flash wants the civilians free, he's gonna have to get his hands on it. And that's easy enough for a serious speedster. Flash snatches the gun from his foe without a care for roughing up the rogue. Easier to stop him permanently, because Flash's future knowledge knows the damage Mirror Master's heist will cause. A freak earthquake is set to rock the museum, and shattered glass would have shred all the hostages had Flash not stored them safely inside the mirror world. An earthquake set to start in 3, 2, 1. The Mirror Master is cut to ribbons for his crimes, and Future Flash leaves to continue his time-free crime spree. The next stop on our magical murder tour through time is 12 years from now, the hospital bed of a dying Leonard Snart. The meta-human powers of New 52's Captain Cold have literally chilled him to the bone, and on the night his cancer's gonna take him, Barry doesn't let him die alone. I don't think Lenny actually cares, but Barry tells him the cause of all Flash's woes. How the Speed Force has been abused over the years by various speedsters, like Gorilla Grodd, Reverse Flash, and even Flash himself. Once every mistake he's made is corrected, once his work is done, Barry Allen is on the Flash's list too, but only when he's saved the day one last time. Actually, it might be quite comforting for Snart that his last moments are learning that his enemy's life sucks. Lenny goes out on a high note. It's a cold day in hell, but Barry doesn't have time to grieve. 7 years from now, crime in Central City, get real. The Trickster is at it again, mate. His little robots designed like pennies were set to steal an entire vault from Central City Bank. A heist from within the target. Cool idea. Except bloody look at these things, would these even hurt if they hit you? Super Saiyan Blue Flash knows that these dumb robots don't have the strength to follow Trickster's plan, and even worse, they drop the giant steel safe they were robbing right onto a young family. Trickster takes his own life from the guilt. Jesus Christ, these dumb looking penny bots have a higher kill count than Flash himself. Trickster swears to change his ways, and this time Barry's hands stay clean. Let's see how long that lasts. 5 years from now, Flash hits stop, and he's about to hit reverse. Reverse Flash, the New 52 version, runs rampant through Central City as his sister Iris and his secret son, Wally, scramble to stop him. Only our blue Blair gets to Danny first. The car accident that kills Wally is averted, and Flash has one final stop to make. Play that Sonic Adventure 2 music. As if I haven't been using Sonic music the whole time. They dodge copyright and there's a tune for every scenario. Present day Barry Allen is dragged from his breakfast and his lady by his future self, rushed at supersonic speed to witness what his failure has done to the Speed Force. Imagine if your future self come back in time to tell you you're doing a crap job. I'd be fuming. Not all hope is lost. If they patch the hole by filling the space with more Speed Force, it just might seal up the anomaly. But where could they find spare Speed Force just lying around? Don't know why I'm asking, we've already seen that future Barry's suicidal, but the twist is, he's not the him he wants to kill. Get me? The power discharge from Barry's demise should be more than enough to heal the Speed Force. But modern Flash still has a spark of fight left in him. But it's not enough. Future Flash obviously knows Barry's every move, and unlike in Merseyside football matches, blue beats red. And he'd kill him here, if not for the interruption of Wally West. But not the good one, the New 52 one. After witnessing the Flash's brutality in the changed future, Wallace developed speedster powers of his own and made it his mission to stop Future Flash from ruining the timeline. The boy who motivated this whole crusade now stands against it, but Future Flash is too set in his ways. Wally takes a killer attack meant for past Flash and dies in his place after swallowing his speed energy. Wallace explodes in a lightning cataclysm that engulfs past Barry as well, and the energy produced does seem to heal the hole in the Speed Force. But at what cost? Because the last Flash standing is future Barry. His mission complete. But this isn't the end of the story. More like the middle. Now that the Speed Force is healed, time uncoils itself and shifts future Flash into the role and body of his past self. The man is now Superior Spider-Man himself. Future Flash, or should I now just say, Flash, seizes his second chance. And that's not all he seizes either. Here he is giving Patty Spivet's arse a good squeeze. Barry acclimates to his old life immediately, and even after all he's done so far, he's still not finished. He set the Speed Force right, but there's still dangers out there, lurking, waiting to strike out at the unsuspecting innocents. But Barry does more than suspect them. He knows exactly what they're planning, and he's not happy about it. Future Flash remembers every time the justice system failed Central City, so he's taken justice into his own hands. But he might want to wash them first after this. Flash intends on nipping the next generation of villains in the bud, and there's one in particular he's looking forward to shutting down. Some Victorian era looking mug called Overload. Hey, speaking of Breaking Bad, this guy's got the thing Saul's brother had, electromagnetic sensitivity or whatever the hell. It all comes together. Maybe I should just end the video right here. Nah, next we've got Punisher Batman. But for now, Flash isn't even hiding his new methods of cracking down on crime in front of witnesses, including police and reporter Iris West. Barry mutilates Mirror Master's new protege, Napalm. You know what, considering he's got future knowledge, Flash isn't being very careful. Patty Spivet is a forensic scientist, and after seeing the state of Flash's first victim, she's already starting to suspect. We've seen this Flash obliterate Mirror Master, a dude with powers so cool I can't even explain them. So why is he worried about this Overload fella? To be fair, he looks sick here with the skull face, and Overload is looking to shut Central City down. Electricity hurts him, yet it gives him power. Like coffee. The Flash knows the when and how of the electric evildoer, but he doesn't know the who. Thanks to his electric powers, there's no record of Overload aside from his body count. The clock is counting down, and Barry gets a break when he finds a horsehair on a victim's corpse. The day of Overload's reckoning arrives at the opening of LexCorp's new broadcasting towers. Only now, Flash knows to take down the dude with the horse. I'd have just looked for the guy sparkling from his eyes, but I'm not in the Justice League, am I? Yet. The coldest case in Central City history gets flash fried as our Blue Blair blitzes this bitch. But before he can finish the job, Patty begs him to stop. This isn't the Flash she knows. This isn't the Barry she loves. But can Flash let disappointing his lady get in the way of saving all these lives? Flash fact: domestic abuse is never funny. Hang on. Flash perceives stuff by the attosecond, so he must have seen Patty approach, and he chose to judo throw it. He literally had all the time in the world to plan his move. Now I want Overload to win. And he just might. He uses his powers to overload. Overload, I get it. Overload Flash's watch, blowing his hand clean off. Somewhere Napalm is cheering. Flash comes clean to Patty and admits his crimes, and Patty tells him it's not too late to be a true hero again. Stop the villain, but don't kill him. But with the LexCorp towers active, Overload is too powerful. How can Flash hope to stop Overload? Overload. Yeah, Flash basically shuts down the network by, you guessed it, overloading it. The villain's own name was the key to victory. That's like if Superman's name was Kryptonite. Stripped of his power source, justice is truly served as Overload is arrested, not killed. Future Flash has learned his lesson, but there's too much blood on his hands. He can never be the man Patty loved. Her Barry is gone, sucked into the Speed Force during Future Flash's timeline terrorism. But he still jumps to her defense as a sudden storm kicks up, and out of the lightning steps the Flash. present Barry bursts free from the Speed Force. And he's not alone. Some Speed Force savage has followed him. What the hell's he been up to all this time? Whoever this guy is, he's out to get the Flash. So now he's going to be seeing double. Timelines collide as the Flashes of 2 times unite. This lunatic, Selkirk, has spent his life studying the Speed Force. He knows more about it than even the Flash himself, so they can't let him wield this power unchecked. The plan is to detonate the Speed Force again to erase him from time itself, because there can be only one. Future Flash redeems himself in one final Speed Force explosion. Oh dude, it's like Martian Vegeta. After all he's done, he dies finally doing the right thing, dragging Selkirk with him and leaving the protection of Central City to the Flash of its rightful time. But not before warning his past self of their true, ultimate enemy. Of all the heroes to go dark, you'd never suspect the Flash. He's usually so upbeat and positive. Sick costume, as I've already said, to the point where I prefer this to Barry's usual costume. The Living Lightning look is badass. Future Flash does what most edgy characters can only dream of. He succeeds in going back and stopping these villains before they can hurt people.
What are you doing? What's wrong, Chief? Having a little trouble walking?
Na. Next we've got Batman, Grim Knight. The big twist here is that there is no tipping point that changes this Bruce from a Caped Crusader to an armed Avenger. After shooting the Waynes dead right in front of Bruce, dumbass Joe Chill drops his gun to try and pick up Martha's pearls, not realising kids these days bloody love Call of Duty. Baby Bruce blows Joe's ass away, setting the stage for a very different Batman. With blood on his hands from the start, killing Joe teaches Bruce the power of the gun, that it can stop evil once and for all. He's more like a Dark Ronin than a Dark Knight, training with the world's killers to master the art of death. A punk with a gun is still just a punk. If Bruce was to clean up Gotham, he'd need to become more than a man. And as a stray bat bursts through his window only to get shot dead, Bruce has his answer. So this version of Batman faces similar trials to the mainline Dark Knight, like here, where he goes through the events of Year 1, but with an added bit of Michael Keaton. I suppose it'll be hypocritical of me to love those Burton Batman movies and crap all over this, so let's see what our more brutal Bruce gets up to next. Well, he certainly doesn't acquire a rogues gallery, because any criminal Batman crosses gets one between the eyes first time. Penguin, Black Mask. He never even gets a Joker because he kills him off his red hood. Not all Gotham's heroes are flipped, because Jim Gordon's got a plan to stop this caped killer. He's got the evidence and the backup to take Batman down. Or at least, that's what Batman wants him to think. It goes terribly. Batman knew Gordon was on his case, so he set up the whole thing himself. Every safe house Jim's men are securing go up in flames. Gordon's SWAT team go down, and Batman's just warming up. He's hijacked the GCPD blimps to Hindenburg right into the heart of Gotham's crime problems, Blackgate Prison and Arkham Asylum. Justice is about to be served hot. Bat Punisher has made a Gotham where no 8-year-old boy will ever lose his parents because of some punk with a gun. But at what cost? The innocent are petrified of their grim night. Even loyal Alfred can't stomach what his master has become. But not all hope is lost in Gotham City. Jim Gordon lives, and he's made a break in the Batman case. Gordon and the FBI raid Wayne Manor in broad daylight as well to take in Gotham's Angel of Death. They know everything, and it's all thanks to Alfred. Bruce has nowhere to run. An animal backed into a corner has no choice but to bare teeth, but thankfully, for the first time in years, Gotham gets justice. This one was actually quite cool. It was interesting how the big change was Bruce getting the gun, and how that erases his fear of them as we see in the main universe. After that garbage Suicide Squad game and all the Batman who laughs nonsense, I don't like the idea of a bad Batman, but this one turned out okay. That's only because I secretly omitted a load of crap tying into whatever multiverse garbage we were sitting through at the time, so reading it just as an Elseworlds worked quite well. There's a good reason these stories are all what ifs, Elseworlds, and alternate futures. Peter Parker isn't really going to go nuts just because some people die. He understands it's his responsibility to use his powers to help others, not hurt them. Future Flash learned his lesson in his story, that there's a better way to deal with villains than just executing them. Batman is a dark knight. His primary focus is helping the innocent, not punishing the guilty. At the end of the day, these heroes are heroes because they can take all the heat and not break apart. And isn't that nice and motivational? If they can do it, so can we.